Oh.
Best film trilogy of all time. What do we got, guys? Jordan, what do you think?
Oh,
what would be your choices?
Well, it's my personal choice, not only because of what I enjoy personally, but also because it set the chain of events for literal historic movies to move forward, is the Iron Man trilogy. That set in place what people consider like very nerdy movies that moved forward and broke a lot of boundaries as far as what graphics can do, what VFX can do, what a lot of movies could do. Because, like, think about it for a second, and I love to bring up this whenever we talk about like superhero movies. Before Marvel became this titan of a freaking, before the Marvel, cinematic universe came to be, how many people were talking on the day-to-day? I know, like, us, because we're into nerdy pop culture like that. How many people on the day-to-day were talking about fucking Black Panther? How many of them were talking about Thanos? Now I could walk out on the street and because Endgame was such a freaking hit, and ask who Thanos is. He's in memes. He's in, like, people who don't know shit about comic books and anything like that know about these characters now, which I think was a real historic things for not only movies, but like nerdy stuff and things like that, superhero movies. And it all began with Robert Downey Jr.'s, the Iron Man, movie.
Sure.
The trilogy, I just picked that as a trilogy because I really like the Iron Man movies. Like, he's my favorite character. So, like, that's why I picked that. But
all right.
Yep.
I'm just going to jump in because I want to pose a question on this question. Mm-hmm. When you think of best film trilogy, right?
Right.
It's got to be that all three of them really hold up, right? Like, all three of them are good, because there's a lot of film trilogies where the third one fucking drops like a goddamn rock. Looking at you, Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like, there are the Godfather. Right. Fuck you, third movie. You know what I mean? Like, there are, like, I'm talking about, like, I feel like if you're gonna take in, like, you can't even bring in the Terminator, which has the first two movies, and then the third one falls off the face of the earth. Right. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like when you're going to answer this, you got to take that into consideration. Like, does the third movie still hold up?
To piggyback off of that, if I had it my way, my top three would be Underworld Revolution, and Rise of the Lycans, and nothing else.
Hey, there you go. That's a great trilogy. That's a
good one. Only three movies that matter, and they're all fantastic. And that's what I grew up on, and that's why I have a crush on Kate Beckinsale.
You and everybody else.
Yeah. All right.
Like I think if I'm gonna pick one, I mean probably the original Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Evil Dead, maybe. I don't know. There's so many. There are good ones that have a third one that hold up.
Right.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of them, like, yeah, this is a great trilogy, and everyone knows these trilogies, but because the third one kind of sucks, it almost drops off half of the, the trilogy itself.
Right.
You mentioned Star Wars, so can we, like, ignore, like, certain sequels that aren't technically sequels?
Yeah, well, if we're talking, see, here's the thing: is that they are three different trilogies. There's the originals, there's the prequels, and then there's the post, originals or whatever they're fucking called.
Right.
So to me,
I was gonna say the Terminator trilogy.
Okay, yeah, because Terminator 3. It's kind of. I mean,
there's like
depends if you like it
movies
or not.
past Terminator 3.
Well, okay, but right, exactly. So but the first trilogy is what made the rest of those things happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you could say the first original. Like, if you're the prequels fan, like as a human being, you actually like the prequels more than the originals. That's fine, whatever. But you're wrong. Anyway, that's a trilogy that you would pick. You know what I mean? Like, you're a prequels fan. Like, even though there's 9 plus movies. There's 10, 10 or whatever
Right.
movies for Star Wars.
My answer is Terminator, the original trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I
yeah.
wanted to go ahead and bring up too, is the whole fact, like, there originally were trilogies, and then through the years there's a fourth or maybe fifth,
Right.
or like in the Star Wars situation, there's 6 others, which consider 2 separate
Yes,
trilogies. So what do you
exactly.
really consider a trilogy? I'm gonna go out and say that hands down, one of the best trilogies have to be the Madagascar movies. I mean, artistically speaking, they are
Hell
just.
It's so good.
I mean,
no,
I was gonna say
fantastic
Shrek
movies.
because
Right,
Shrek 1, 2,
yeah,
and 3 are
right.
fucking
Yeah,
gold.
yeah. Shrek is definitely a favorite. Madagascar a favorite. But if I had a serious answer,
Right.
I have to say Indiana Jones, the original. Since we're not gonna count like anything, like in like the present.
Right, it's just the
near
trilogy,
present.
right.
Yeah, the trilogy original. Yeah, Indiana Jones was the shit, man. Like, that was a fucking trilogy that really I felt just held up. So that I would have to say best for me would be anything involving Indiana Jones. So
Like I have a bunch of joke ones that I would definitely pick. Like Naked Gun was great. Like Shrek movies are
Right.
fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah,
definitely on my top. But yeah, I think it would be a toss up between Indiana Jones and the original Star Wars trilogy. So like A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
yeah.
Butterfly effect.
Oh, geez.
But yeah, I
The fact
think
that there was more than one of those is kind of terrible.
It reminds
right.
me of the time we went to 7-Eleven one, and I saw a Final
Discount
Destination
DVD bin.
Yeah, like the $5 DVD bin, and it was just like, what the fuck, another Final Destination? I'm like, aren't there like fucking 9 of those? Why do we have 9 Final
No.
Destinations? And he's like,
No,
well, this one
we
is
ran
6.
into 7-Eleven, and in the discount DVD bin, we saw the DVD for Wrong Turn 7.
A Wrong Turn, that was it. That was the one.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I was
And
like, there's
just like-
more than 2 of these?
Yeah, right.
It's like, what the fuck is this? Talk about straight to
I mean,
DVD.
I was also a huge fan of the Hannibal Lecter trilogy. Like Silence
Oh,
of the
yeah.
Lambs, Hannibal, and Red Dragon are really great movies.
Right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, man. The original trilogy of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead
Right.
from
yeah.
Romero. I mean, there's
There's a decent
God.
list of trilogy sets that have been
Sure,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
best of all time. That's a hard.
That's
one.
tough. That
That's
it
a tough
really is a
one.
tough
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Because again, you really have to take that third movie, and even the second movie. Sometimes the second movie sucks, and
yeah.
the third one brings it back up. Like you got to think about how all those movies are juggled. So
Yeah.
yeah, good question. Really good question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.